This is a Sales Geek Academia to Business Translation production. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you the most potent insights from the latest research. Today, we're tackling a topic central to almost every sales organization. The sales contest. I mean, we all know they're widely used, but do they actually work? Or do they just shuffle sales around, leaving no real impact on the bottom line?
It's a great question. And yeah, it's puzzled leaders for decades. It really has.
Yeah.
And it's a big investment. Just in the U.S., we're talking over $9 billion spent annually on sales contests. Yet there's always this nagging concern, what researchers call strategic timing games.
Sandbagging.
Exactly, sandbagging. That classic idea where a salesperson might, hold back a sale just before a contest and then release it during the contest period. It looks like a boost, sure, but is there any net gain for the company? That's the worry.
Right, a critical concern. And that's precisely why this study we're looking at today is so relevant. So for you, our listener, we've pulled together a really fascinating study from Marketing Letters. It's by Srinath Gopalakrishna and a team of researchers. And our mission today is simple. Dig into their findings, translate this academic work into, practical, actionable insights. Things you can use immediately as a sales leader. Okay, let's get into it. So to really get a handle on this, these researchers went straight to the source. They observed a regional U.S. insurance company. They tracked the daily sales of nearly 1,200 agents.
180 agents. Yeah.
Right, 1,180 agents across 78 sales districts. And they did this for a whole year.
A full year, exactly.
Okay.
And the product was life insurance.
Okay.
So that's important. It's a classic consultative selling scenario, not a quick transaction. It typically has something like a 3-week sales cycle.
Got it.
And what's really interesting is the setup they used to study the contests. They looked at 2 specific 6-week sales contests. Both were announced in advance.
Advance notice. That's key for the timing games, right?
Absolutely key. If people know it's coming, they can plan. So they defined 3 distinct phases to capture everything. A pre-contest phase, the 3 weeks right before, then the contest phase itself, the 6 weeks it was running, and then a post-contest phase, the 3 weeks immediately after.
Okay, so before, during, and after. That makes sense.
Yeah, it lets you see the whole picture, the ebb and flow.
And they didn't just look at sales numbers in isolation, did they? They added some other factors.
No, they layered in 2 really crucial moderating characteristics, made the analysis much richer. First was district sales potential.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
Basically, how easy or hard it is to sell life insurance in a particular territory. They measured it by looking at existing market penetration. So low penetration means higher potential, more untapped customers.
Right, tougher versus easier markets. And the second factor?
The second was sales ability.
Individual performance.
Yep. How well an agent had performed in past contests. This gave them a powerful lens, you see, to check if contests affect different people in different places differently, not just a one-size-fits-all effect.
So based on all that setup, what were they expecting to find? What were their hypotheses?
Well, they set out to test 3 main ideas. First, the big one. Do timing games actually happen? They expected, that pre-contest sales dip because of sandbagging or maybe people shifting their effort. And then, logically, a sales boost both during and after the contest. That after part suggests spillover.
Okay, timing games. What else?
Second, does district potential matter? Here, they predicted something interesting, a more pronounced pre-contest dip and a bigger contest boost in those districts with lower sales potential.
So harder territories would show bigger swings. Why?
The theory was that agents in tougher markets might feel more pressure, maybe sandbag more, to hit goals they see as difficult. But then once the contest starts, they act like underdogs and really intensify their effort.
Interesting theory. And the third hypothesis, about individual ability.
Right? Does salesperson ability matter? Initially, their thinking was that higher ability agents, the top performers, might sandbag less.
Because they're more confident.
Exactly. More confident they could close deals within the contest window anyway.
Yeah.
And they also expected these stars to show a bigger boost during and after the contest, just leveraging their skills.
Okay, so those were the expectations. With all that context set up, what did the data actually reveal? This is where it gets really interesting, right? Does it confirm the fears or show a benefit?
It really does. Let's break it down. First, those timing games. The data largely confirmed their initial thoughts here. There was a significant pre-contest sales dip.
Okay, so sandbagging is real.
It seems so. The probability of making a sale dropped quite a bit, from 1.65% baseline down to 1.11% in those 3 weeks before. In dollar terms, that translated to an average revenue loss of about $34 per agent compared to the baseline period.
$34. Okay, not massive, but definitely a dip.
Definitely measurable. But then, as expected during the contest, a huge sales boost. The probability shot way up to 5.71%.
Wow.
That translated to a gain of $512 per agent, a big jump.
$512 gain versus a $34 dip.
Okay, and here's a crucial point that sometimes gets missed. The momentum continued after the contest. There was a sustained post-contest sales boost. The probability stayed higher than baseline at 2.62%. That added another $61 per agent on average.
So some deals initiated during the contest closed afterwards.
Seems likely, yeah. That effort carried over.
Okay, so putting it all together, the dip before, the big boost during, the smaller boost after, what's the net result?
This is the key takeaway for overall effectiveness. Despite that pre-contest dip, the combined gains during and after the contest resulted in a significant net sales increase. It averaged out to $539 per agent.
Wow, $539 net gain per agent.
Exactly. And think about it, that $34 lost from the pre-contest dip, that's less than 10% of the total net gain.
So the argument that contests just shift sales around doesn't really hold up here.
Not in this case, no. The data strongly suggests the pie actually got bigger. There was a real net increase.
That's a powerful finding against the common critique.
It is. But the story gets even more nuanced, and this is where it gets really practical for leaders. We need to look at how district potential and salesperson ability changed things. The effect wasn't uniform.
Right, those moderating factors. Let's start with the districts. How did potential play out?
Okay, so district sales potential. They found contests were actually more effective in the low sales potential districts.
The tougher territories?
Yes. Those districts saw a more pronounced pre-contest dip, so more sandbagging, it seems. But, crucially, they also experienced a larger sales boost during the contest. Much larger. The net gain per agent in these tougher areas was $648.
$648. That's significantly higher than the average $539.
It is. It's 20% higher than the average across all districts.
And what about the high potential districts, the easier ones?
Conversely, they saw a less pronounced dip and a smaller boost during the contest. Their net gain was lower, around $410 per agent, which is 24% less than the overall average.
That's fascinating. So you get more bang for your buck contest-wise in the harder-to-sell areas.
That's what this data suggests, yes. It seems contests can really stimulate activity where it's most needed or where there's maybe more untapped potential despite the label low potential.
Okay, that's a really key insight for deploying contests strategically. What about the other factor, salesperson ability? Did the stars align with the initial hypothesis?
Well, this is where things got a bit counterintuitive, actually. Remember, they initially thought high-ability agents would sandbag less.
Right, because they're confident.
Well, the data showed the opposite. High-ability agents actually showed a more pronounced pre-contest sales dip than the average agent.
Really? So top performers sandbagged more. Why would that be?
The researchers suggest a couple of things. Even top performers are motivated by recognition and rewards, obviously. And they're strategic. They likely have the confidence and the skill to manage their pipeline very precisely. They know they can close deals during the contest window, so they might be more deliberate about timing things to maximize their contest results.
Okay, so it's strategic maneuvering, even by the best. But what about their overall contribution during the contest? Did they deliver?
Oh, absolutely. This is the most significant finding regarding ability. High-ability agents delivered the largest overall net gains from the contests. By far, their net gain was $710 per agent.
$710 compared to the $539 average.
Exactly. That's 32% higher than the average. They had a bigger boost during the contest itself, and importantly, more of those spillover sales after the contest ended.
So while they might play the timing game more, their overall impact is huge.
Huge. And what about the low-ability agents? It's important not to forget them. They still saw a net gain. It was positive, which is good, but it was slightly less than the average, around $509 per agent.
So contests provide a lift across the board, but the high performers really amplify the effect.
That's a great way to put it, yes.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful, a really rich deep dive. So for you, the sales leader listening in, maybe grappling with whether contests are worth the investment or how to structure them, let's distill this down. What are the key actionable takeaways here?
Right, let's make it practical. Based on this research, here are 3 things you can really take to the bank. Number 1, don't fear the sandbagging. Focus on the net gain. Yes, salespeople will likely engage in some strategic timing. The data shows that. But importantly, The evidence here strongly suggests that well-designed contests, especially in these consultative selling environments, generate a substantial net increase in sales.
So that pre-contest dip is just part of the game.
Pretty much. It's a small price to pay for the overall boost you get during and after. The net gain significantly outweighs that initial dip. Don't let the fear stop you.
Okay, takeaway 1. Focus on the net gain. What's number 2?
Number 2. Leverage contests for lower potential districts. This is a really interesting finding. Contests delivered higher net sales gains in those districts tagged as having lower potential.
The tougher markets got the bigger lift.
Exactly. So think about designing specific contests for these areas, or maybe adjusting goals. Use contests strategically to really stimulate activity and drive results where it's typically harder to close deals. You might unlock some surprising growth there.
Got it. Target the tougher territories for potentially higher ROI. And the third takeaway.
Number 3, high performers are your contest MVPs. Yes, they might sandbag a bit more strategically, but your high-ability salespeople deliver the largest absolute gains from these contests, period.
There's $710 net gain versus the average?
Right, so make sure your contest structures keep them engaged and motivated. The study mentioned a hybrid model rewarding people for hitting specific goals and for beating others, like in a tournament. That kind of structure can really fire up top performers.
So ensure the rewards and structure appeal to those who can deliver the biggest results.
Precisely. They're capable of generating huge revenue, and contests just amplify that potential.
Those are 3 excellent data-backed takeaways. Don't fear sandbagging, leverage low-potential districts, and know your high performers are key. Now, this deep dive clearly shows the benefits, but it also sparks another thought, doesn't it? Well, this study focused on one product, life insurance. It makes you wonder, what impact does a contest focused on product A have on sales of product B or product C, the salesperson's entire portfolio?
That's a great point. Could focusing intensely on one contest product?
Yeah. Could it inadvertently lead to a dip in sales for other products that aren't part of the contest during that same period?
That's a really important consideration for overall business impact. Something definitely worth mulling over when you design your next contest. The potential for substitution effects.
Exactly. Food for thought. Well, that wraps up another illuminating deep dive. We really hope these insights give you a clearer, more nuanced perspective on the power of sales contests.
Yeah, understanding these dynamics, the timing games, the district differences, the role of ability, really means you can design more effective strategies. You can motivate your teams better, allocate resources smarter, and ultimately drive stronger results.
We absolutely loved taking this journey into the research with you. Join us next time for another deep dive into the world of knowledge. This has been another Sales Geek Academia to Business Translation production.